It's very likely that Kyle Larson will remain sponsorless for the entirety of the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season. In this video, we will be talking about this Hendrick Motorsports sponsorship problems and the star power that Kyle Larson holds and the surprising lack of sponsorship that is coming with it. So, obviously, if you guys have seen my previous video, and over 100,000 people have now seen that, certainly there's a lot of hype surrounding Kyle Larson's return to NASCAR. A lot of people are interested in it and are, gnashing their teeth for any, crumb of detail on what's happening with Kyle Larson in NASCAR in 2021. Now, it's really important to note, while NASCAR has stated intentions to reinstate Kyle Larson, that does not go into effect until January 1st. In other words, Kyle Larson, as we speak right now, of course, if you're watching this before January 1st, 2021, Kyle is still suspended from NASCAR. So the question is, right now, are there sponsorship or other announcements pertaining to Kyle Larson pending him getting officially reinstated to NASCAR? The conventional wisdom would be yes, though I have heard that that is actually the opposite case, where you could announce anything you want with Kyle Larson, you could promote him all you want, they are refraining to do that. And actually we have some details later on in this video, particularly pertaining to merchandise, which I think disproves any kind of an embargo on Kyle Larson news. Now, as we've covered in a couple of previous videos, there do appear to be some sponsor issues at Hendrick Motorsports. The major one for at least this year is the fact that PepsiCo, which is the Pepsi brand, the Mountain Dew brand, several other brands, is gone from Hendrick Motorsports for 2021. Now, some people got the impression that Kyle Larson had some sort of a say in that, or the fact that Hendrick signed Kyle Larson meant that Pepsi left. No, that is not the case, or at least it doesn't appear to be the case until we're told otherwise. It's not Kyle Larson's fault that Pepsi left the team. I think that just happened to be an unhappy accident. But even sponsors that Larson has had affiliations with, even after the N-word incident, have seemingly gone away from what was formerly the 88 car and is now numbered the number 5 car. Particularly Lumar Windows, which was specifically one of the top executives at Lumar Windows, was actually mentioned as one of the people that has reached out to Kyle Larson post-incident and helped him kind of rehabilitate his image. They went to Chase Elliott rather than Kyle Larson. So Lumar Windows is on the number 9 car for next year. That doesn't necessarily eliminate a chance of that sponsor appearing on the 5 car, but you would think that such an announcement would have been made with both cars at the same time. The other major kind of chess piece that was moved even before Kyle Larson was reinstated and officially signed to Hendrick Motorsports was the fact that Alex Bowman bailed off of the 48 or the 88 car and moved over to the 48 with the full Ally Bank sponsorship. Now, what we understand from the rumor mill, it's not officially confirmed and it never will be, is that Ally Bank definitely did not want to associate with Kyle Larson in a direct capacity. They didn't want him as the driver representing their brand, and they felt that Bowman was much more in line with their company values, much closer to Jimmy Johnson in that respect. Now, this sponsorship or these sponsorship woes at Hendrick Motorsports are not going to be a short-term issue. Now, they certainly may be a long-term issue, but it's honestly, this is the crazy thing. The sponsorship issues at Hendrick Motorsports are likely the reason we have Kyle Larson returning not only to NASCAR, but returning to NASCAR in this top tier of a ride. Let me explain. At least again in the short term, these sponsorship issues are not an issue because of the charter system. Rick Hendrick has 4 charters in NASCAR, and he's almost certainly not going to sell one, at least short term, to another team. So he's got 4 cars and likely 3 cars worth of sponsorship. Well, if you're going to go out of pocket to get a racing driver for the Cup Series, the best available option to Rick Hendrick, money being apparently not an issue, was Kyle Larson. So you go get Kyle Larson, you run with an unsponsored car, and you hope that not only Kyle Larson's image rehabilitates throughout the season, but you hope that there's enough success, as proved by his dirt slinging success throughout the year after his suspension from NASCAR. You hope that translates to the Cup Series, and Kyle Larson becomes such an attractive prospect that you cannot ignore him as a sponsor anymore, or somebody will step up in a major way to support Kyle Larson and Hendrick Motorsports. And I guess in some ways, though this may sound a little bit hyperbolic, save that fourth Hendrick Motorsport car. Because I'll put it this way. If there were 4 fully funded cars at Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson likely isn't driving for them. This is a very unique situation, and very lucky for all involved that it was able to happen. Now, as we were talking, the Kyle Larson embargo doesn't really exist, because we already have pre-orders for Kyle Larson merchandise over at Racing USA. They were the first ones to post Kyle Larson merchandise that's officially licensed by both NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports. And as you may notice, they are very generic. You see a hoodie with Larson and the number 5. You see a shirt with Larson and the number 5. You see the blue and red, which seem to be, you're definitely not going to miss this car if this is the way they're going to go with the way the car looks. And it may be a very classy look. But again, Hendrick Motorsports and NASCAR, those are the only 2 trademarked logos you see on these shirts. And this is really the shirt that you probably clicked on this video to see. And it is the Kyle Larson shirt with a blank red number 5 car with a blue number. And I would imagine at some point this will say Hendrick Cars on it. But as we stand right now, the only Kyle Larson shirt that is available to buy with a car on it is blank. And it's just, this is so fascinating to me, and it will continue to be fascinating, because this is the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest NASCAR story going into 2021. And it's not that Kyle Larson doesn't have any sponsors, though that's part of it. I think the big story here is the fact that coming out of this year, I think going into it, I think Kyle Larson was, I think a lot of people considered him a mid-pack driver in NASCAR. I think a lot of people considered him a mid-pack driver in terms of popularity. Trust me on this. When I make a Kyle Larson video, I see what the views are. After this has happened, Kyle Larson has exploded in popularity. He's exploded in interest. He is going into this season as NASCAR, one of NASCAR's biggest stars. Maybe he's not as big as Chase Elliott, but I would consider him maybe 2nd or 3rd going in, and that's absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that he doesn't have any sponsors, the fact that he doesn't seem to have any backers as we sit right now, that adds to the intrigue here, in my opinion. I think it's going to be really interesting because, again, he's at a car that can win now, a team that can win races and championships, as we've seen this year with Chase Elliott. So there's no excuse for him to not perform. And if he starts performing in a blank car or a Hendrick Cars car, treat anything that says Hendrick Cars or Chevy Goods or Parts or whatever on it as a blank car. If he doesn't have any obvious sponsorship and he's performing, and again, the market is speaking here, which is, again, the fascinating thing to me. There's a ton of interest affiliated with Kyle Larson from the public, the consumers, the people that traditionally NASCAR sponsors try to go after. The fact that he doesn't have anybody jumping on board to sponsor him at this time is, again, just a fascinating kind of social experiment, I guess you could say, in some ways. It's like Kyle Larson is, in conventional terms, the hottest prospect in NASCAR right now, but companies won't touch him. And of course I understand why that is, but I think I'm going to continue to cover this because I'm interested when the crossover point will occur. When will Kyle Larson become so hot, so marketable, such a winner, and have such a huge fan base that some company finally decides, you know what, we're gonna take the social pressure hit. We're gonna take the Twitter hit, and we are going to sponsor him. That's going to be very interesting. I wonder if it ever comes. That's the other thing. We don't know for sure if any company is going to step up in the major way that a Cup Series program would be. And if that's the case, if Kyle does never get a sponsor, what happens to that fourth Hendrick Motorsports car? How long is Rick going to be willing to go out of pocket to fund a car for Kyle Larson? And the prospect of maybe having to sell that charter to somebody else, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things that possibly could happen here. It's a fascinating dichotomy, I guess you could say, to use a big old word there. The fact that you have this super popular driver and no money following him into the Cup Series, at least for now. So that's this video. It's Christmas Eve as I'm filming this, so be sure to enjoy Christmas. I certainly will. Of course, I say that now and watch Ferrari get announced to go to IndyCar tomorrow, and I'll have to make a video on Christmas Day. But yeah, enjoy the season. Enjoy your family. Take in the good things. Hopefully your Christmas is good and isn't a 2020 Christmas. And after Christmas, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks everybody for sticking with me, for subscribing, for commenting and watching throughout this year. And we'll see you in the next video.